Satan wants to reduce the population. Jacques Cousteau said we need to eliminate 350,000 people a day to save the planet. Ted Turner said we need a 95% decline in population. Okay, Ted, you first. The serpent tricked Eve, and the Lord said to the serpent, that's it, fellow, you got to crawl on your belly the rest of your life. And then the Lord said, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head. Satan knows some seed of the woman is going to bruise his head. He didn't want that to happen. So his plan, apparently, is to try to kill every human being on the planet. He wants to kill everybody. Remember when Herod wanted to kill baby Jesus in Bethlehem? What did he do? Slew all the children. Let's just kill them all to be sure to get the right one. Satan wants to kill every human on the planet. And some of his followers and helpers down here are working at that goal right now. Go outside of Atlanta, Georgia, to the town of Elberton. Drive north 7 or 8 miles, and you see way off in the middle of no place, middle of just big old field, you see these rocks sticking up out of the ground. As you drive up to them, you see, man, this is a man-made object, like Stonehenge. It has the 10 Commandments for the New World Order in 12 languages. Commandment number 1, maintain humanity under 500 million. There's already 6 billion. How are they going to maintain it under 500 million? Evolution is a dangerous philosophy because it's the foundation for racism. Evolution is a bad tree, has a bad root, brings forth evil fruit. Evolution is the foundation for immorality. It's the foundation for humanism, the foundation for racism. And now we're going to cover evolution is the foundation philosophy for Nazism, communism, and the New World Order. Now Mussolini, the dictator in Italy, thought the Italians were the superior species that deserved to rule the world. So did the Germans, so they linked up together for a while. So they thought, well, we'll just rule it together, and then when we get too many people, we'll decide between the two of us who's the strongest. Mussolini and Hitler were strong believers in evolution. Now Hitler believed the Germans were the superior race that deserved to rule the world. Arthur Keith said, the German Führer has consistently sought to make the practice of Germany conform to the theory of evolution. A direct line runs from Darwin through the father of eugenics movement, Darwin's cousin Francis Galton, to the extermination camps of Nazi Europe. Hitler's book that he wrote, Mein Kampf, written in 1924 while he was much of it while he was in prison between the two wars, it's full of evolution. You ought to read the book. It's a boring read for one thing, but it's just absolutely full of his evolution philosophy. Since the time he was a boy, he was dominated by this one thinking that one race is superior to another because of evolution. In this book, while 6 million died, it tells about the story where Hitler offered to send the Jews to anybody who would take them. Hitler said, do you want the Jews? I'll send them to you on luxury ships if you want them. Did you know America refused to take the Jews? Roosevelt said, we don't want them. America had very racist immigration policies before World War II. Long stories there. You can read about the ship that came to Cuba and tried to unload their Jews and said, basically, we don't want them. They sailed all the way up the east coast of America. Every port in America refused to allow 900 some Jews to get off the boat. So they sent them back to Europe. In Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, he said, no more than nature desires the mating of weaker with stronger individuals, even less does she desire the blending of a higher with a lower race. He talked about the mingling of Aryan blood and lower peoples. This is all based on a philosophy called evolution. One race has evolved farther than the rest. Now, who's an Aryan? And what are these lower peoples anyway? Well, Hitler taught that the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Norwegians were close to pure Aryan. Did you follow all that? The blonde-haired, blue-eyed Norwegian, voor en stoor, de hele dag. And he thought the Germans were mostly Aryan. The Mediterraneans are slightly Aryan. Slavics are half Aryan, half ape. Orientals are slightly ape. The black Africans are mostly ape. And the Jews are close to pure ape. Hitler killed the Jews because of his evolution thinking. We fought a really big war. Probably 100 million people died in World War II altogether because of that stupid theory. It's not just dumb, folks. It's dangerous. Hitler also hated the black people. 1936, Olympics were held in Germany. Jesse Owens, the black American athlete, won the most gold medals, and Hitler walked out of the stadium. Said, it's not fair to make my men race against this animal. one of the Jewish prisoners who survived the Holocaust, said there's a difference between those who look upon their fellow human beings as common creatures of a common creator and those who look upon them as conglomerate of biologicals and chemicals. Is the human body nothing but chemicals? That's what Hitler thought. Man, we can get so many ounces of soap out of them and so many ounces of grease and so many ounces of hair and, just chemicals. I've been to Germany several times. I read lots of books about Hitler and the Holocaust just to keep my blood boiling. What Hitler did was because of his belief in evolution. He thought they were an inferior species. So this is not just some kind of academic discussion, folks. This is a dangerous philosophy. There's me at Flossburg concentration camp where they mined all the granite for Hitler's monuments, okay? And millions of people were killed because of Hitler's belief in evolution. Dumb idea. I stood in that spot where Hitler's standing in that picture, just thinking about this huge conference ground at Nuremberg. Hitler tried to make the individual feel small and the cause seem great. People are doing the same thing today with the young people. Hitler knew how to reach the youth of his nation. He wanted to indoctrinate the young people. By the way, Nazism is still alive and well in America. It's really alive and well in Wisconsin. One man in Skokie, Illinois, near Chicago, told the authorities he killed a plastic surgeon he found in the phone book because these plastic surgeons were making blue-tinted contact lenses and they're diluting the Aryan beauty. Picked him out of the phone book and killed him. Hitler thought that biological evolution was the best force to fight against traditional religion. Hitler said, I regard Christianity as the most fatal, seductive lie that ever existed. Now, Lutzer from Moody Bible Institute wrote a great book on Hitler's cross, how Hitler tried to hide behind the cross. But actually, he was anti-Christian in everything he did. You should read the Barmen Declaration. Go to the internet and type in Barmen Declaration and see what... You wonder, where was the German resistance to Hitler? Where was the Christian resistance to Hitler? Why didn't the Christians do something to stop this guy? Well, we're going to wonder that someday. Why didn't the Christians in America do something to stop the New World Order? Why didn't they do something? Okay? Hitler used Nazi propaganda pictures like this, him walking out of a church with a cross above his head. It's all propaganda. He hated Christianity. Did you know they have Nazi baptisms and Nazi altars? You could be baptized into Nazism. It was a total religion. Hitler said, you tell a lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, the people will believe it. He said people are more likely to believe a big lie than a small one. By the way, the Japanese also thought they were a superior species because they had evolved farther. Darwin's book hit Japan, and people just loved it. I mean, the crazy religions they had in Japan at the time just absorbed evolution right into their thinking. When Darwin's book was translated to Japanese, everybody said, wow, what an amazing theory, evolution. And the next obvious step is, hey, if evolution's true, which race has evolved the farthest? Japanese scientists did studies to find out which race of people have less hair, and it was the Japanese. They said, see, we've evolved farther from the apes. They said we have milder body odor. They did real scientific studies to prove the Japanese had evolved farther. And that's why you won't understand what happened in World War II when American prisoners were captured and tortured like at Bataan, the Bataan Death March or the concentration camps over there. You're not going to understand why this happened until you understand the thinking of the Japanese soldiers. They hadn't been taught all of their life evolution. We have evolved farther. These are inferior species. It's really best if we eliminate them. The soldiers that survived World War II in German and Japanese concentration camps were amazed at how cruel the Japanese were. Just cruel to the prisoners. Well, they thought they were an inferior species. When he died, 6 people attended his funeral. At a very early age, Comrade Stalin went to a Christian school and he read Darwin's book and became an atheist. That's the book that changed Joseph Stalin's life forever. Joseph Stalin killed between 60 and 100 million of his own people. You should read anything by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, like the Archipelago Gulag, the concentration camp. He spent 10 years in Stalin's concentration camps. One of my daughter-in-law is from Ukraine. I used to have 7 people on our staff from former Soviet countries. We know what they do over there. When Germany and Russia attacked Poland during World War II, Poland, was just totally overwhelmed and no chance of survival in a situation like that. They captured all these Polish officers. They asked Stalin, what should we do with the officers? He said, they're just Poles, execute them. They finally admitted it in 1992. The Russians finally admitted, yep, we killed 14,700 officers at the Katyn Forest. Massacred them. Why? Well, if you believe in evolution, you think you're superior because they're just inferior. It's really best to wipe them out. It's like pulling weeds. It's all it is. Why would you execute prisoners of war? I mean, what happened to the Geneva Convention, you know? Why did Hitler kill 6 million people, at least, maybe more? Why did Pol Pot of the Khmer Rouge kill 1/3 of his entire population? I mean, 1/3 of all the Cambodians were killed. Why? Why were the Aborigines treated like animals? They were rounded up and slaughtered. Every single Tasmanian Aborigine was killed. When the communists took over China, they began killing Christians at the rate of 15,000. Missionaries that were there reported, those that survived, that got out of China, said, you know, it was strange. When they came into our village, the communists came in, they didn't start teaching communism in the schools. The first thing they did in the schools was start teaching evolution. The communists know full well evolution is the foundation for communism. Russian atheist astronomer said, either there is a God or there isn't. Both possibilities are frightening. See, if there's no God, man's in charge. You put man in charge, you're asking for disaster. Okay? Evolution theory is dangerous. It brings forth bad fruit. It's a corrupt tree. And instead of plucking the branches off, fighting abortion and all these things, which I think we should do, go for the root, man. Fight the main philosophy behind it. The Bible says the earth is the Lord's. This whole problem started 6,000 years ago. God created everything. Lucifer decided he wanted to be God. Probably about 100 years after the creation is when Lucifer fell. I don't know. We cover some of that on video too. But Lucifer started this long war against God. Ezekiel tells us a little bit about it. It says iniquity was found in him. He was perfect until iniquity was found in him. He was lifted up because of his beauty, because of his power, because of his riches. He's the one that weakened the nations. Isaiah tells us, how have you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, thou son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Lucifer's causing this problem. He decided, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. The Bible says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider, saying, is this the man that made the nations tremble?